Okay, we have our next guest in station. I have Miss Andrea over there just kind of salivating here today. She's been looking forward to Mr. Bob Stefanko from Ranch and Coast Magazine. Welcome, Bob.
Oh, thank you.
Great.
Glad to be here.
Great.
Yeah, I was so excited to invite Bob on the show because I just love the publication. It's so beautiful. It's got content that just is so fun for me to just sit down. When it comes to my house, I'm so happy to go to my mailbox and get it because then I can sit down with my cup of coffee, something sweet, and the magazine and just have fun with it.
It's really a class publication.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, it's one step above the normal.
Well, tell our listeners a little bit about Ranch and Coast. What is it where's the magazine located? What do you do, and how do you do it?
It's a community magazine. It originated in Rancho Santa Fe. It has a very kind of distinctive footprint. It mails to Rancho Santa Fe, Del Mar, Solana Beach, La Jolla, and a little strip up the coast. We're also available in some of the higher-end hotel rooms around town, La Valencia, the ranch, the inn in Rancho Santa Fe,
right.
Park Hyatt Aviara, those areas.
What do people see when they open the magazine?
Well, luxury lifestyle. It starts out with an attend section. So it talks about all the parties that are going to be happening over the next month or so. For the most part, a lot of philanthropy-based stories. Any given Saturday night in San Diego, there's at least 3 or 4 black tie events where people are paying $100 to $500.
Now I know why Andrea's been stalking you for all this time.
Yes.
So our readers attend these regularly. It's their way of giving back to the community and supporting local charities.
Yeah. Something. Every business is often measured by their waiting room. I know in New York, if you don't have the New Yorker when it was out there on your table in the waiting area. In San Diego, it's Rancho Coast. If you don't have that publication, it's sort of a measurement of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It really is.
So that's great.
And in part, it's because you also have so many high-profile people that are featured in your publication.
Yeah, once a month we do it at home with. I mean, we have had, a couple months ago it was Susie and Dean Spanos.
Wow.
A gentleman he and his wife, Sean and Marshawn, they started Miracle Babies here in San Diego.
Wow.
Kind of sort of a peek in the windows. We say it's at home with my editor at large, Andrea Naverson. She's a pro, and she goes and conducts these interviews and kind of gets insight into people's home, their hobbies, their likes, just to get a little understanding of.
That's great.
Who's who.
Yeah, and in fact, I feel when I read those, that's one of the things that I love the most about the publication is those personal interviews, and she does a brilliant job with that because I feel like I've really had an opportunity to truly get to know these incredibly high-profile people, and they're people now to me, not just a big name. I feel like I've really gotten to know them.
Yeah, amazing to have her. She was an ABC correspondent in New York and then a CBS correspondent in L.A., then came to San Diego, sort of to retire, still staying on air for a number of years. And then, I was lucky enough to have her come join us. So it's been a wonderful relationship.
That's incredible. We'll have to send her over to Andrea's house to do an interview with Andrea.
Oh, gosh, then I'm going to have to clean up the joint. I don't know that I want to do that. Whew. Now, taking it back, how did you get into the publication business? Because it is a business. I mean, yeah, it's a glossy, beautiful mag. I love it, but it's a business.
Well, previously, I had a graphic design and advertising firm. I came to San Diego, worked for... Actually, my brother had a local firm here. It was called Stefanko and Collette, and we did a lot of high tech stuff. We were fortunate enough to be the first agency of record for Qualcomm. We did one of their first ads. San Diego's diverse high tech and communication. We had a piece of Kyocera, we had a piece of Kodak in San Diego. As time went on, I branched out with a partner, and we had a graphic design studio. It was called Red Rocket Studio. And the previous publisher had contacted us. He moved in from out of town and needed someone to do the print work. So really just assembly of that magazine. And that was really my forte, kind of art direction, design. and layouts. So
we should have had one of your photographers come down so you could publish to the radio show here today.
I'm one of those photographers.
Oh, yeah.
Quite often on Saturday nights, I'm the one with the camera taking the pictures of those at those galas. So,
well, that's a great way to crash an event, Bob.
There's no question about it. and meet the people. You said, how do I get those interviews? I've interviewed them or taken their picture over the years, a number of times. So, San Diego's a wonderful community.
It is. Now, how do you keep it? It is publishing is a business, and it's not just fun with a camera, but you've got expenses, you've got costs, you've got to find advertisers, you've got to keep it exciting for the readers. How have you been able to keep it successful when so many other publications are kind of going by the wayside because there's so many different types of media these days?
Well, it was a community magazine for Rancho Santa Fe. People really want to reach that community. It's not easy to reach them in terms of, this magazine goes into their home. It has for 50 years.
And this magazine, while you probably have plenty of internet presence, it probably wouldn't work as a web publication. It has to be in print to get into the community.
Pretty much. I think as things change, we have to stay up on it. There's no question. We have ranchandcoast.com. So our website gets 500 unique, between 500 and 600 unique visitors a day. I have 10,000 Twitter followers, Facebook fans. It's all sort of part of the whole mix. We the magazine is monthly, but the website's updated every day. I have a e-newsletter that goes out to 12,000 people once a week. So we're really just trying to continue to build a readership base, an audience, and anybody wants to know more about San Diego or events that are around town or the best restaurants, they can either go to the website or get the magazine.
So that's great.
Okay, do a testimonial.
Please do.
In 2005, Rancho Coast Magazine came out to do a feature story on Challenged America, the adaptive sailing program for the disabled here in San Diego when we raced to Hawaii.
That Mr. Urban Miyares started and functioned through.
And it was probably one of the best of all, and we're talking national publications that have covered us in the last 30 years, one of the best articles, and the photographs, I think, are still being used by others.
Yeah, I remember. I actually remember all that now. I know I was on your board back then, but it just goes back a little ways, about 10 years. So that was a magnificent publication.
It truly was.
Oh, thank you. No, we try hard. There's this there's a standard there that we just try to hit it as often as possible. We do our best.
Mm-hmm. But what was amazing of the story, not only the feature and all of that, but how many calls, referrals, and even donations we received from that article. So it was truly amazing.
That's what
great.
It's about.
Yep. Yeah. So you're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. Give us a tweet at CloseUpSD. Email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com or find our page on Facebook. We want to hear from you. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with my co-host, Andrea Kay, Urban Miyares, and our guest is Bob Stefanko from Ranch and Coast Magazine.
Any plans to take it even up the coast any further?
The title, the name, Ranch and Coast, I do love it. It certainly could, town and country, ranch and coast, I don't know.
You could take it up to Laguna and Newport. There's other coastal areas that would probably dig it, but then you would never sleep, right? Because then you'd have no life.
You'd be in every celebrity's home taking photos and doing all that.
Yeah, he'd be on the Real Housewives of the OC before we know it.
Yeah, then you'd have Andrea stalking you even more. So. So,
what has been the most fun event or the most interesting person you interviewed? What stands out to you in terms of people?
I'm not exactly sure. I have a really terrible memory.
It's just us. You know.
So last weekend, the Challenge Athletes Foundation had a gala at Rancho Valencia, and Jeff Jacobs and Jeffrey Issakoff are the owners of Rancho Valencia. They bought it about 5 years ago, and it was an unbelievable party. was honoring the memory of and the work of Robin Williams. And,
wow.
His wife and children were there, and they pulled out the stops at Rancho Valencia. I towards the end, I went to the bar and he poured me a glass of wine. It was Silver Oak. I mean,
wow.
It's not often you go to a gala and they're
pouring silver. Usually it's like Bouge Lippel. You get to go to some high-end stuff.
So, no,
was it also moving? Because I know Robin Williams' daughter is very articulate and funny and just very clever.
They had many people there that I guess I don't watch that much television, but there was a Dancing with Stars gal that was.
Wow.
Okay, was it one of the judges?
No.
Carrie Ann Inaba? Because I love her.
Well, she was a double amputee.
Oh, yeah. I know who. I don't remember her name. She was in an ad recently during the Super Bowl. Wow, very cool.
And then also, a couple of people survived from the Boston Marathon.
Wow.
Wow.
That's great stuff. Hey, we are starting to run short on time. Tell our listeners how they can find out more about Ranch and Coast Magazine.
Well, the website, ranchandcoast.com, or, on Twitter, Facebook, all that, at Ranch and Coast.
Well, I'm definitely going to assign my producer to continue to stalk you, so we have more and more information to talk about, and I look forward to coming out and seeing you and seeing what we can put together.
Glad to have you.
Great. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much.
Yep. So you are listening to Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ, streaming live at AM1170theanswer.com. Send us a tweet at CloseUpSD or just find us on Facebook. You can always email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com. Let me know what you think. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.